Miss Elms here. I have Bella here, my puppy, and this week we're starting area, so grab your computer. Let's go.
Area Day 1, counting square units to find the area. So we're going to be using Google Slides today. If you go to my school, you're going to have an assignment called Area Day 1, and if not, you can follow along with a piece of paper and a pencil. So we're going to do a math routine today called Subitizing. That means a picture is going to show up, and you're going to think, how many squares did I see? And then you're going to think, how did I see it, to figure out that number or figure out the answer. You're going to have 3 seconds to look at it and then think, how many did you see? How did you see it? All right, how many did you see? How did you see it? Okay, I'm going to explain my thinking. So I saw 10 squares. How did I see it? I saw 4 on the top, 4 in the middle, and finally I saw 2 on the bottom. Okay, so we're starting a new unit today. It's called area. Area is the number of unit squares that cover the surface of a closed figure. So if you look at figure A, there are 12 squares. And so that tells me that the area, or the amount of space those squares cover, is 12 square units. A unit square, or a square unit, we measure in square units. So we're measuring in squares. And some examples are square centimeters, square feet, square inches, and there's a lot more that we can measure in. So how do we measure the area? We measure the area by counting the number of square units. So the squares that a figure has. This figure has 8 squares. So the area of the figure is 8 square units. The important thing about counting to find the area is there should be no gaps. So there should be no spaces between the squares. There should also be no overlaps. There should not be squares on top of other squares. So now we're going to practice finding the area. This is where you're going to turn and talk, and if you don't have someone at home, you can talk to yourself. So what is the area of figure C? So that's figure C with the orange boxes. And how do you know? So I want you to use the sentence stem. I think the area of figure C is because, tip, count the number of unit squares there are in the figure. So I think the area is 11 square units because there are 11 orange squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What is the area of figure D? How do you know? I want you to use the sentence stem. I think the area of figure D is because, tip, count the number of unit squares there are in the figure. All right, I think there are 15 square units because I counted. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 squares. 15 square units. What is the area of figure E? How do you know? I think the area of figure E is because, and remember our tip, count the number of unit squares there are in the figure. I think there are 12 square units because I counted. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 squares. 12 square units is the area. So we're going to talk to our friend named Remy. I think the area of figure F is 13 square units because 13 squares are shaded. Do you agree or disagree with Remy? And I want to hear you say, I agree with Remy because, or I disagree with Remy because. So I'm going to tell you what I think. I disagree with Remy because earlier I said that figures could have no gaps. That means there's no spaces it's not one figure. So the area can't be 13 square units because they're not together. So that's the thing I reminded you of before. So for using blocks or counting to find the area, there can be no gaps and no overlaps. That means there can't be squares on top of other squares. Let's review. How do we measure the area? We measure the area by counting the number of square units a figure has. So this figure, there are 16 unit squares. So the area of this figure is 16 square units. All right, here are some good websites to continue your math learning. If you go to my school, you can do iReady Math, Extra Math. If you want some extra practice, you can do Khan Academy, ABC, Yeah, or Prodigy.
Belle and I hope you enjoyed learning about area. See you next time.